Tonight, a face is going to appear in your house. It will not belong to a person. It may stare from an electrical outlet, grin from the front of a car, or hide inside the folds of a curtain. You will know it is not alive, but your brain will see it anyway. The name for this is face pareidolia. That means seeing a meaningful face in a pattern that contains no real face at all. Two dark spots become eyes. A line becomes a mouth. Why does your mind turn random objects into silent little strangers? The easy answer is imagination. But the real answer is far stranger. Your brain is not casually inventing faces for entertainment. It is running an ancient detection system so important that it would rather be wrong 1,000 times than miss one face when it matters. A face is not just another object. To your brain, it can mean safety, danger, food, affection, anger, status, or belonging. A rock can usually be ignored. A face cannot. What happens when that priority system becomes a little too eager? Long before written language, cities, or electric light, your ancestors survived in groups. A nearby face could reveal whether someone was friendly, frightened, sick, furious, or preparing to attack. Reading that face quickly gave you an advantage. Reading it slowly could cost you. Natural selection did not need to build a perfect face detector, only one fast enough to keep its owner alive. Imagine hearing a branch snap in the dark. One possible strategy is to wait until every detail is clear. Another is to assume that the vague shape between the trees might have eyes. The first strategy avoids embarrassment. The second avoids becoming dinner. Which mistake would survival punish more severely? This is the logic behind many human detection systems. A smoke alarm is designed to scream at burnt toast because silence during a real fire would be worse. Your face detector works in a similar way. It accepts false alarms. A surprised outlet is the burnt toast of social vision. But this system does not begin with a complete portrait. Your brain looks for a rough arrangement. 2 eye-like marks above 1 mouth-like mark can be enough. The features do not have to be realistic, symmetrical, or even attached to a head. Why is such a crude pattern so powerful? Because speed comes before certainty. Visual information enters through your eyes, but your conscious awareness receives only the finished guess. Behind the scenes, different brain regions compare shapes, edges, spacing, contrast, and familiar patterns. The result arrives as a feeling that says face before you have time to reason through it. You do not choose to see the face first. In 1997, neuroscientist Nancy Canwisher and her colleagues used functional magnetic resonance imaging, a method that tracks changes in blood flow inside the brain. They identified a region in the fusiform gyrus that responded much more strongly to faces than to ordinary objects. It became known as the fusiform face area. This does not mean one tiny spot does all the work, but it showed that faces receive specialized treatment. Why would your brain dedicate valuable machinery to them? Because faces carry compressed social information. A fraction of a second can tell you who is present, where attention is pointed, and whether an expression is calm or threatening. That information shapes your next movement. Your brain therefore treats anything face-like as urgent enough for a closer look. First, detect, then verify. That order explains why an object can look like a face even after you understand exactly what it is. Knowledge does not erase the first signal. You can stare at a toaster, identify every piece of metal, and still see a nervous expression on the front. The object and the face occupy the same image. Which one reaches you first? In 2009, Neuroscientist Nuchin Hajikani and her team measured the brain's electrical and magnetic responses to real faces and face-like objects. The face-like objects triggered activity associated with face processing at roughly 170 milliseconds. That is less than 1/5 of a second. The illusion was not merely a slow joke added after careful thought. Your brain began treating the object like a face almost immediately. This matters because it changes what pareidolia really is. It is not simply daydreaming. It is perception being built in real time. Your brain receives incomplete evidence and fills in the most important possibility. How often does that happen outside silly faces on houses? Constantly. Vision is not a camera recording the world exactly as it is. It is a prediction system interpreting limited signals. Your blind spot is filled in. Motion is smoothed. Colors are adjusted by context. The world you experience is a useful reconstruction. Face pareidolia exposes that reconstruction because the mistake is easy to notice. You can point to the two windows and the door that created the expression. Most of the brain's predictions are less obvious.